Hey guys, it's your girl Shannon, and this is Shannon On Demand, where we show you how to take demand of your business to demand a better life. All right, guys, today we are going to be focusing mainly on nonprofit organizations. We've had several videos about nonprofit organizations, but again, whenever I find that I'm being asked the same question over and over and over and over again, there has to be something to it, right? So, one of the things that a lot of folks have been asking me about is funding for your nonprofit. And when trying to get grant money, right, one of the main questions that's been asked in a lot of these requests for proposals, is sustainability, right? How are you going to sustain your organization? What is sustainability, right? The main thing is you have to be able to figure out how your nonprofit is still going to be able to continue with this mission, continue with this vision, continue with its goals after the grant money runs out. That grant money isn't there forever. Now, let me kind of digress just a little bit. Some grants you can get over and over and over and over again, but a lot of them you can't, right? So once those funds have been exhausted, then what are you going to do? What type of systems do you have in place to ensure that your organization is still going to be able to function, once those grant funds have been exhausted? One thing that I do want to point out is how often are you meeting with your board of directors? Now remember, your board is there to help. Your board is there because it's a collaborative effort amongst like-minded people that want to see the missions, the goals, the vision actually come to fruition. So, how often are you actually meeting with your board? You should at least be meeting with them quarterly, but definitely more than just quarterly. You have to be able to have those meetings with your board so that you can start putting these systems in place. What are you going to be doing the first quarter? What types of things and goals are you wanting to have accomplished at the end of that first quarter, going into the second quarter? If you have no earthly idea what it is that your organization is going to be doing for that year, then you're not grant ready to begin with. Just want to put that out there. This is one of the things that I go into depth about when I do my coaching with my clients. Is one of the things is making sure that they have a sustainability platform in place so that they will know exactly what it is that they're doing before they get the funding, while the funding is being, utilized, and then what they're going to be doing once the funding has been exhausted. So that's one thing that I really want you guys to really kind of, grab a hold onto, is that you have to have a plan in place. Now, how do you get that plan in place? What is the plan? Well, first of all, what is your organization doing? You need to know exactly from start to finish what it is that you're doing, how you're getting it done, the impact that it's going to have on the community. Who's your target population? Why is this particular sector of the community the sector that you're targeting, right? So you have to be able to have all of these things in place. And if you don't, then it's time to start having those meetings with your board of directors. It's time to start getting some input. It's time to start asking for help. Asking for help. If you don't know the direction that you want to go into with your organization, if you are unclear as to what steps you need to take, then the internet is your friend, and asking for help is also your friend. So, What are you utilizing other than just grant funding? Now, remember, just because you applied for a grant does not mean you're automatically going to get that funding, right? There are so many other organizations in the same boat as you, needing the funding, wanting the funding, needing to push their visions out there, right? So, what else are you doing? If you don't get the grant funding, does that mean that your organization just automatically folds? If you don't get that grant funding, does it automatically mean that your vision is just totally wiped out? Or are you looking for other avenues of having funding within your organization? I think, in an earlier video we discussed this, that even with regular companies, LLCs, regular corporations, we're always talking about multiple streams of income. So why wouldn't that hold true with a nonprofit organization as well? Grant funding shouldn't be your sole source of funding. Let that marinate just for a little bit. If you're using grant funding or trying to use grant funding as the sole source of your organization's monetary lifeline, then you are going to be in for a rude awakening. Um, you have to diversify your financial portfolio when it comes down to what's going on with your nonprofit. How many fundraisers have you had? Hmm. Are you getting sponsorships? Hmm. Are you asking for donations? Do you even have a website that they can go to in order to learn more about what it is that you're doing for the community? How are you engaging social media? These are some good questions because you have to utilize all of these systems in order to, constantly having that flow of revenue coming in. Okay? Let me give you an example. In my company, we do 501c3s for nonprofits, right? But do I get a new client that needs a 501c3 every day? No, I don't. And I'm just being realistic with you. But I have diversified that portfolio and I have increased my services so that if I'm not getting a 501c3 client, I'm getting the client that needs a grant. If I'm not getting a client that needs a grant, I'm getting the client that needs the coaching, that needs to understand what it is that they need to do. I'm also teaching how to write grants. We're talking about how to implement business plans, the purposes of business plans. So, what I'm trying to tell you is once I've got all of these services in place, if this isn't working, then this will. If this isn't working, then that will. So, basically, what I'm saying is I am not dependent upon just 501c3 clients in order to have a consistent influx of revenue coming into my company. But you have to have that same mindset when it comes to your nonprofit organizations. Don't just depend on fundraising. Don't just depend on donations. Definitely don't just depend upon grant funding. Now, are there a plethora of grants out there for you? Absolutely. Are there grants out there that can basically do a little bit, if not everything, that your organization needs in order to fulfill its mission? Absolutely. But do not just strictly depend on that. You have to have a sustainability plan. My suggestion would be, in order to get that sustainability plan, meet with your board of directors on a consistent basis. Like I said, at least quarterly, but definitely it should be more than that. And you would be surprised the wealth of information that you can receive just from meeting with your board of directors, so that you can start putting some things in place so that your organization is going to be able to flourish, that your organization is going to be able to be one of those 501c3 organizations out there that's basically doing what it said it's going to do, making an impact on the community, and basically just serving. Because really, that's what nonprofits are all about, right? Just serving. It's not all about the money, although we don't, we know that we need money in order to move the vision forward. But guys, have a sustainability plan in place. And like I said, if you do not know how to do that, how to devise that, then internet research and ask for help. Okay? Get yourself some sort of coach so that you can position yourself, right? So that you can move things forward. I work with nonprofits on a regular basis, and I see a lot of nonprofits every year. Well, we didn't do anything this year. We didn't do anything last year. We didn't make any money. But the question is why? If you are going to go through the trouble of creating a nonprofit and then going through the 501c3 process, which is a tedious process, if you're going to do all of that just to have your organization just sit there dormant, not doing anything, I don't really see the sense in that. So again, have a sustainability plan in place for your organization. All right. And let's try to see what we can do to start, moving these things forward, propelling these things forward. Because really, guys, we know that our communities need you. Our communities need the services that you provide. Okay. But you have got to make sure all your T's are crossed and all your I's are dotted before you step out into the deep. Okay? So, again, guys, listen. What I need you to do, I need you guys to subscribe if you haven't already done so. I need you guys to give us that thumbs up, like this video, let others know that we're here. If there's any content that you need us to cover, or if you've got any questions, you can always leave a comment in this video, or you can DM us on Instagram at Shannon On Demand. So, there are different ways that you can kind of get a hold of us if you need to. All right. So, guys, listen, sustainability is your friend. It's your friend, whether or not you know it. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. This is Shannon On Demand out.